I have a question related to what to say in the gap statement. So I took a long career break early in my career. And about 10 years ago, I went back part-time, very part-time, but I feel like I'm really underemployed in terms of the skills I'm using in my work and the level I'm at. And I'd like to so therefore I wanted to kind of highlight some of the work I had done very early in my career, but it's more than 20 years old at this point. And I've been told not to include any jobs that are more than 15 or 20 years old in my career. I mean, on my resume. So I'm really not sure how to present my set of circumstances on the resume.
Okay, that's a great question. I love this question because there's so many facets to it. The first one, I would say, I believe, especially for candidates with gaps in their resumes, that rules can be broken, and that there is no predefined rule that you have to exclude a job that was 20 years ago in your resume. And again, this is subjective. This is my personal opinion. There are no right or wrongs. And I think what job seekers are vulnerable, and they often take what other people say as truth. And sometimes they go and they redo their resumes because somebody told them to do something. And you have to own your resume. You got to own your story. And if what I say to you today doesn't resonate with you, then don't do it. But what I would say is this: if that job from 20 years ago shows something about you that, and skills that you have, and accomplishments, even more important, that you feel are relevant to what you want to do in the future, keep it. Now, does it deserve a half a page on your resume? No, it probably deserves a bullet, but keep it. The other thing I thought was interesting about your question is you talked about having a gap, but then that you took on part-time work and that you're underutilized. Okay, underutilized, I can see that as an issue, and we can address that. But the fact that you have part-time work, even if it was 5 hours a week, you don't have a gap. Your gap is in your head. A lot of people come into our career reentry workshops, and they talk about their gap, and then they tell me that they've been working for 20 years for their spouse's company doing all their back office. I'm like, so maybe you don't value it in your own head, but you're working. You don't have a gap anymore. So you take that gap away, because when you project that gap onto somebody else, they think that you're rusty and that what you did is irrelevant. But if you project your unpaid volunteer work as substantive, or your part-time job or very part-time job, take away it was just a part-time job, tell me what you did. And that's what you want to put on your resume. So I don't think you even have a gap. Then the third piece of your question is, okay, you were underutilized. So that maybe is what you want to, in your career statement or your profile, talk about, maybe that you're eager to transition to, and then tell me what it is. Where do you think you want to be? You're looking to make a transition to something with greater either responsibility, or utilizing a certain skill, or utilizing a certain software. So you can use that statement to sort of say, hey, I don't want the same job I have. I'm ready to take a step up. So you can do it there. And even if you were underutilized, you can use some strong action verbs in your resume, at least to make those jobs to boost them as much as you can in your resume. You can't lie, but at the same time, I think if you have those skills, you can try to boost them as much as you can.